Welcome back to the Dota 2 Asia Championships. We're in the thick of it now. Secret facing off against Cloud9, fighting for a guaranteed top 4 position. Currently, Cloud9 lead the best of 3, 1-0. Gentlemen, do you think Secret can bounce back? How confident are you? I think everyone had Secret taking the series coming in, at least from the panel.
I think Secret still takes it, but that's just because Cloud9 has been super inconsistent. It's not like their whole second place every tournament thing. This is a completely new roster.
But you know what? They add Big Daddy. Big Daddy is also the master of second place. Before there was Cloud9, there was Fnatic.
That is true. Maybe together they can find a win.
2 plus 2.
They're
going to get fourth.
So they have to win this game then. Well, if not this one, I suppose game 3. Okay. Yeah. With that said, the draft's underway. We're going to continue to talk about the match, but we'll hop into the game now. Let's see what the team's cooking up for us here.
No wispy.
Yeah, interesting to see Cloud9 take the same approach, regardless of being first and second pick, just banning out Chen and Enchantress. I think in the other game they banned them in the other order. They banned Enchantress first, but they still do get rid of both. Secret will ban out the Bat Rider of Bone 7, and this time, no IO. They will first pick Lycan still, and this gives the axe over to Cloud9, who can now choose if they still want to try to run with the Shadow Fiend as in the previous game, who does not have the best matchup against Lycan in general. So maybe they don't, but at the same time, that performance last game was really damn good from Fata, and they could look to do something similar again by grabbing the Bane once more. They will be grabbing a support first, Venge.
Venge Axe, just a classic opener in this at this point. I say classic for this tournament anyway. Just something that teams have gone to time and again. Helps you with the Roche, good physical damage. Honestly, it just shows Secret have a lot of confidence in their Lycan pick. To go for it when Axe is in the pool, it's not something a lot of teams would do. I'd say most teams in this event, they probably take the Axe first here, if they consider either of those heroes.
Yeah. And well, what they might try to do in that case is, okay.
Radiant team ban.
Interesting.
I think last game, Cloud9's second phase bans were Enigma and Dazzle, and then their last ban, AA, I think.
Yes, that's correct.
So, Secret, if they want their Dazzle, they might have to pick it now, because, well, they're expecting Cloud9 to ban out the Enigma. They might still do that, actually, even though this is likely to be a puppy hero. They could still run the Enigma with the Dazzle and have Kuro play on that.
Reserve time.
But just starting about picking that with Grave, the only counter being Axe in the entire game.
So these two heroes in a way counter out each other. So one thing is, Axe is obviously great at dealing with the Grave, but at the same time when you blink call, you have multiple enemy units in the proximity, and then you can suddenly get hit by a really hard Shadow Wave if you cast that after Berserker's Call ends, so you lose the armor. In addition to that, everything about Axe is physical based, apart from, you could say, Battle Hunger, but that's not really being used that much right now. And then you can play Weave into the supposedly somewhat of a minus armor / physical strat from Cloud9. I think they
see Eternal Envy Jug this game, you think?
Could be a pick.
They have been changing it up. Coming into this match, it was just Jug first pick like 4 or 5 games in a row to get here, but obviously, Cloud9 feel like they need to do something special to address Secret, and so far it's been working. Secret now going to ban out one of the other Spin Lords. They'll remove that Troll.
I like the emphasis on spin. That was good.
Spin to win. It's a hero that Fata really pioneered, the Troll. I mean, he wasn't the only player to play it, but he was the one who kept on playing it. Even after the Whirling Axes got nerfed, he would go for that mech rush on Troll. And we don't really see that style anymore, but he's one of the early pioneers for the hero.
They're going to ban the Lion too. Targeted ban at Big Daddy No Tail. Assuming that the Venge is going to be Misery, which I think is pretty likely.
He could go for his Lich too. His Lich was pretty sick in the last series.
Lich not so good against Lycan though, but it's okay. But slows in general don't really get the job done against Lycan.
And what do you really do if the Lycan's just ratting? You know, he can't
ice armor them towers.
Ice armor the towers. Yeah, but you can't gank him. It can work well, I feel, if you have other heroes that provide a lot of lockdown.
But they're going to ban out the Storm, so they're leaving the Enigma in case Secret are interested in it. I think this is a bait from Cloud9. They want them to take it, and they can have a plan of how to counter it out. Or they're just assuming.
Which is decent against it to begin with. And they have a lot of aggression, so they could try and shut down the Enigma fairly early.
And they could just be assuming that Secret aren't interested because Puppy will play Dazzle. But I think that's a little bit dangerous. Kuro, he is a very flexible support player. He can play pretty much anything apart from, I want to say, Chen and Enchantress and Enigma.
So what's
Those
out there right
generals.
now? There's a Drow Visage out there. Something Cloud9 could just grab if they wanted to.
Reserve time.
We have seen the Visage picked up by Secret even without a Drow. Works pretty well with the Lycan Dazzle. Both of these teams have the option to commit very heavily towards a physical damage type strat, and both teams could go very heavy push as well.
Honestly, I don't know at this point what Cloud9 are looking for. The obvious pick would be the Juggernaut, based on how they've played previously, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting... Okay,
Well, it worked in game 1, man.
they let it through.
Why not?
Man, that is
Secret-
so much.
Secret have to know this is coming, in a way. So I just said I don't know, but at the same time, last game, Shadowfiend was a pick for Cloud9. It worked wonderfully. It's a very stereotypical pick into this opener as well. Secret let it through. They absolutely knew the risk was there. So now it's the time for the counter pick.
So,
Or some sort of solution.
well,
Did they grab the sniper? They don't have that
well,
aggressive
it was Arteezy
gang.
that played the sniper, though. I mean, do you actually... Do they show... Like, Secret has shown one style, right? Like, they've shown a couple of different drafts, but it's always Arteezy on the hard carry.
I think they'll get Queen of Pain. Sorry to interrupt.
They have done a couple of dual core strats, but it's normally with the Shadow Fiend plus Quap. That's been the main.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like a Bristleback or
I think
something.
Bristleback's great.
We
for
haven't seen
Secret.
them run like a 2-carry type strat, where they have, like, say, the Lycan and then the Sniper or something.
No.
Is that something that they adjust here? Or?
Well, if they get the sniper, they need an aggressive support to also beat Shadowfiend in lane, or they start with 2 heroes mid. But that would open up a little bit for Axe in the off lane if that's what Cloud9 are planning. So
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat of a tricky situation for Secret. If they want to stick to their guns, they get Quap, I think.
That's the thing with the Shadow Fiend pick, though, is it either Lycan goes mid, in which case Shadow Fiend has an easy time, or it forces Lycan into the side lane, which is exactly what they want with the Axe pick. So I feel like
Yes.
it makes... The draft gets very difficult from Secret. They're kind of trapped between those two options, and neither one seems great.
They are using all of their time right now.
Well, this is pretty much the rest of their draft.
All right. Well, they end up
You
going
mentioned
for
the Enigma's a possibility. They'll go for it now.
Who's playing Axe for Cloud9 these days?
Fought in mid or safe lane, and Bone 7 off lane, I guess. And there's the Juggernaut.
So EE Jug, it looks like the Bone 7 offlane Axe, and then the Fada mid Shadow Fiend. Got some ways to cancel the black hole here. Not that that necessarily will play a huge role this game, but we'll see.
I think the thing that Cloud9 need to be a little bit careful with is to not lose their towers now, because they don't have the best counter push. Shadow Raises are good, but apart from that, not really anything reliable. And Shadowfiend can't counter push that bottom lane for your team if the Enigma starts pushing the 2 towers at mid at 5, which is completely within the reach of Secret's draft. They could just go... There's the Queen of Pain, by the way. They could push bottom lane with Enigma, Dazzle, Lycan. Pretty much minute 2. And what's Cloud9's draft going to do about it? They can lose towers really fast, and then sure, if your Shadowfiend comes online, he should already have a hard time with Queen of Pain in the lane, which I think is the approach now for Secret. They mix it up here. They put Queen of Pain mid, they safe lane the Arteezy Lycan, try to take some towers, and hope that S4 on his own will beat Fata mid with a Quap, and then all of a sudden the early game looks really good for them.
Does anybody play Rubik for Cloud9?
Yes, Misery.
I think that's a really good pick here.
He's good. That's true. Could be a pickup.
Who
Helps
else
with
is
the
good
counter
at?
push.
Yeah, who's good? Better
Spell
with?
steal.
Who's good at the counter pushing as a support that's left?
Wind Ranger.
There's Ancient Apparition out there.
Shaker.
I think AA is a big pick for Cloud9 here. Goes really well with the Axe, Blink Call, Ice Blast. Good
I
at
think
finishing off these heroes that are retreating.
They're going to ban the AA.
Yeah, I think that's the ban. Also really strong if they want to go aggressive, which with the Axe Venge, if you're going to send Shadow Fiend mid and you expect that Quap going mid, then you've got a Lycan safe lane on your hands, and it's an Enigma support. They're not going to be able to protect the Lycan that much if he's on the side lane. And then they could even maybe roam on mid, although it's not an easy kill against the Quap, but...
No. They're going to ban the
Wow,
Omni Knight.
an instant Abaddon. Okay.
Huh.
Right.
Radiant team pick.
What's the
That's
Abaddon
not what I
do here?
expected.
There's only Malefice as like a spell to really dispel with the shield.
Who was it that played Abaddon and they had nothing to really remove with the Photic Shield and they destroyed?
Tongfu, I think. They played him as
So-
support behind mid, or... I can't remember. Or was it Rave?
I don't think it was Rave.
It is. It is the Quap mid, which potentially can solo kill Shadow Fiend if he's in any danger. So
10
this could just be
seconds
Cloud9 getting a bit of insurance. it makes it very hard to kill their cores. Juggernaut, pretty
Remaining.
independent. Shadow Fiend now much more durable in the lane. And, well, the Visage I mentioned will come out last.
Okay, that had like 0 time left.
Wait.
That was really close.
Was that? I mean, I don't think that was a random. Was it a random?
I don't know.
Are we able to check? It doesn't say, does it?
No, it doesn't say anything.
It says Ench Chen
EE.
from Eternal Envy. I don't know how we can see that.
Well, I guess it's their first 2 bans. It's not really hiding.
They just
too
went
much.
them in all chat. Just so you guys
Just
know,
so you know.
going into the game.
Just so you know, puppy. Yeah, fuck you.
How are they laning this, though? Is it an offlane Visage for Zai?
An Enigma core, maybe? Enigma core, I think, for Zai.
Okay, so they're in Enigma core offlane.
So then Zai, or rather, S4 Quap mid,
10 seconds
RTZ,
remaining.
safe lane like, and maybe they swap those 2 if they're worried about some
5
aggressive
seconds
movements from
remaining.
Cloud9 early on.
Yeah. Zai is a really good Enigma player. So I think that's probably the best choice. I was stuck in this idea of them pushing the bottom tower really early with Enigma. And I think that might have been the idea for Secret to begin with, but they've adapted. He's running 8-0. I don't know why
What?
Eternal Envy is all chatting. All this.
All right, well, to find out why he's all chatting, we've got casters. So before we hand it off, guys, predictions? Do you like the draft sins? Very quickly.
Secret either stomps in 25 minutes or loses this game.
All right. Shannon,
I
you
think
agree?
C9 takes this. I'm going back on my prediction.
All right. Well, we're going to have a 5v5 clash potentially. So for that, we hand it off to GoDz and WinteR. Game 2 now underway.
Here we go, Game 2, Cloud9 versus Team Secret, and a bit of a battle brewing here in the Radiant jungle. As Fato going to be poking his nose forward on that Shadow Fiend, looking to swagger his way forward, and Secret going to be looking to back off. Not the best level 1 fighting lineup with the Enigma, but possibly looking to at least find out where these wards are going down. So Cloud9 have the Abaddon, have the Aphotic Shield or Mistcore to help them out, and as well as the Blade Fury being one of the best level 1 fighting spells. Maybe looking to force out some spells here. Grave Chill comes out on Envy. And he actually takes a bit of harass here. No-Tail shields himself. Not sure if that was the intended outcome there, but Bone 7 now. Somewhat Isolated will also take a bit of harass here. So early pokes and prods. The ventures into the Radiant jungle. Settle down, WinteR. What's going on here in Game 2?
Oh dear, they wanted to push them away so they could not tell where they placed the wards, but it actually did not work out. The sentry's gonna... Oh, he's actually not going to take away the other sentry on the left here. Only the observer on the right.
Yep. Gets just the one here. We'll introduce our 2 teams quickly before things get truly underway. Secret on the Radiant side, down 1-0. Going to have Kuroki playing the Visage. It's going to be Puppy on the Dazzle. It's going to be Arteezy shifting from the mid lane to the safe lane on the Lycan. S4 on the mid lane, Queen of Pain. Similar story, getting harassed out by the Vengeful Spirit. And finally, the off lane going to be Zai on the Enigma. For the dire side, Cloud9 going to be running Eternal Envy on the Juggernaut in the safe lane. Misery on the Vengeful Spirit. Fato once again on his Shadow Fiend and in the off lane, a dual lane with Bone 7 on the Axe and Big Daddy No-Tail playing the Abaddon.
Well, I don't expect the Venge to be able to do too much though. He's just not going to be able to force the opponent mid laner or not to be able to see us like a Bane. Venge just, I don't think he can do the same damage like he did the last game. And bottom lane, Bone 7 going to get an Aphotic Shield cast on him and is able to play very aggressive with that support behind him. Just look at him. Oh my
He's going
god.
to be careful. Another miscall coming out here, and Bone 7 just continuing to man up on this trial lane. Mid lane, though, there's some aggression from S4 under the tower, just using that Shadow Strike, trying to give Fato a rough time. He says, this is an actual even 1v1 matchup. There's no Bane for you this game. Let's have a good old-fashioned 1v1. Quat versus SF, a kind of a classic Dota matchup.
Yeah, this would be a very good matchup to watch and to know who can actually outplay each other. And
Pretty even matchup, would you say? Hero-wise, at least early levels.
Depends on who gets the better rune as well.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the better rune will just be able to win the lane straight on.
Well, the Enigma shifted to the off lane. The hero people kind of expected to see Puppy on, but this definitely helped out Secret's lanes, because looking at what C9 picked, we're all both sitting here like, Secret, their lanes are screwed, there's nothing to pick for Zai, but putting the Enigma in the off lane, being able to pick a secondary support is going to salvage their lanes.
Yeah,
right now.
if they didn't do this, I think their lanes are just going to be very weak, very greedy. So having this move done by Puppy definitely very helpful towards their lanes and putting less pressure on the safe lane of Arteezy.
Yep. well, he's got the 2 supports. It's still a rough lane at bottom with the Axe Abaddon.
Yeah, he's still getting a lot of farm on the Axe at the moment with 8 last hits. And you look at RTZ, only 6 last hits on the Lycan. He's going to get another few at the moment. So far, still doing about the same CS as the Axe.
Middle lane, the courier, it's going to get caught out. One more right click, no bottle for you. Oh, what a disaster in the mid lane. Misery. He was the player in game 1 with the Bane. Getting all that enfeeble harass, and he does, well, similar damage in the mid lane once more. This time around, it's the bottle snipe. We've not seen a courier snipe like all tournament long, it feels like, and finally one comes out in one of the most important matches of the tournament for Team Secret.
Mr. Parker, you must be proud of that.
I love me a good bottle snipe. I love me a good bottle snipe, and that was, well, a pretty straightforward one. Something that Secret maybe should have seen coming.
Bone 7 bottom in trouble. Gonna get slowed by the Grave Chill here.
And,
Poison touch as well. Oh,
Abaddon's
no.
on here. He's gone back to base. He didn't actually... I think he was out of HP, out of mana, and left Axe on his own. So first blood goes Secret's way. No-Tail going to heal himself back up at the fountain.
He went back to base to regenerate, and Axe was just playing so far ahead. Like, he got too comfortable in the lane and paid the price there.
Well, with that, Secret at least make up possibly some of the damage done by losing their courier.
This mid lane for S4 has not worked out. Like 2 games in a row, he got destroyed by Misery. Not Fata, but Misery.
And Fata, well, he'll reap the benefits of this on that Shadow Fiend. Hero he hasn't played in a while, but a hero that he was kind of known for, at least back on some of his previous teams, being one of his better heroes. But right now, he's got the edge over the Queen of Pain because of this. Bottom lane, 4-minute rune going to come out. Big Daddy No-Tail takes the haste rune in.
Oh no, Kuroki's in trouble here.
Oh, he even skills up the passive. Big Daddy No-Tail had kept a point, and he's going to slow Kuro with this. Kuro going to get chased down. Here comes Bone 7 as well. The Grave Chill comes out. Kuro on the run, but there's an act with the Berserker's Call. Kuro's just straight up dead. Of all the runes, Secret cannot catch a break this game, WinteR.
Puppy's going to get chased down as well. Are they going to continue to chase him down here? No, it seems like it's just harassment. It's just too far.
Yeah, Big Daddy No-Tail decides against it. I guess a theoretical grave or heal could have caused him problems. TZ says, I want out. He TPs himself all the way home.
This is a lot of damage being done. Yet again, once more by C9 in the laning phase towards Secret's lanes. Oh dear.
The Enigma at top's getting a lot of CS here, but MB still getting good farm himself.
They are more or less trading farm because they can't really zone him out. He's going to be able to pull the wave back all the time like a lich. So, I mean, at least they're getting good farm on MB. That's the good thing about the trade-off there.
Yeah, and for C9, all 3 lanes going well. For Secret,
and
it feels like one lane going well. Just the off lane is going well.
It feels like it's going to be the similar story. Secret going to have all the lanes except the off lane not going well. And Bone 7 creep skipping once more. They're gonna have 3 heroes here try to zone him back, but Big Daddy there.
Oh, he misses the call onto Puppy, and that...
They're fine though. They can't... Secret just can't kill them.
Yeah. They don't. Grave Chill is the extent of their initiation, and if they can't kill with the Grave Chill, it's not. They're not doing anything.
This is like just C9 exploiting the weakness of the lane. They don't have a stun, not much killing potential without a disable. Just a slow from the Visage and a lot of right click from the Lycan Howl.
And because of that, S4 in the mid lane is on his own. He's not getting any ganks. As you said, these supports don't have stuns. They can't gank a Shadow Fiend. The only hero who maybe can is the Enigma in the off lane.
Jackie Mao got Puppy figured out there. Removing his jungling heroes that would help the lanes and taking advantage all of the laning prowess that Secret have right now.
Well, Secret, it seems to be they were getting, I mean, the entire group stage and even the series against VG Game, they would just get away with these greedy lanes, and as you said, it's being punished here. So we'll see what Secret look to do to adapt. They're stuck with this draft here in game number 2. They've had a few unlucky breaks. S4 has hit level 6 on his Queen of Pain, so possibly look to make a rotation.
I think the next point that Secret wants to look for to come back into this game is like the TP scroll on the Enigma right now.
Yep.
If he can TP to bottom lane, get a black hole on both of the Abaddon and the Axe, get a kill or 2, that would be a good start for them. Or even maybe rotate towards middle to get a black hole, but that would probably be unlikely because Fata is just going to double race and push the wave farm jungle all the time. That would be his pattern in the middle lane. So I would not expect anything to happen there unless they actually dive to gank the quad, which is also unlikely. So probably the most likely action would be on the bottom lane for the Enigma to TP and help out the lanes.
Well, just the 2 Secret supports in that lane as RTZ has rotated into the jungle, deciding he's going to get better farm over there.
And one more interesting thing I want to point out as well, like Envy chose not to take any points in the Blade Fury, just because it's not going to be useful in the lane. The wave is always back near the tower, and Enigma's going to be farming, so that he just went for... I mean, I didn't expect him to go for 4 points in crit, but unusual.
Mid lane, S4 gets double race, a Misery stun! Misery is the mid lane master this series.
And he's the annoying hero. Like, he's the Mirana of this series. We were talking during the break that we were wondering why Secret hasn't put Puppy on the Mirana, that we see him a lot. Bottom lane, here we go. Bone 7 gonna dive in. Big Daddy No Tail gonna be there, backing him up with the first Athletic Shield. Gonna chase down Kuroki, but not gonna be able to get him there.
No kill, but damage has been done. Bone 7 has a Vanguard, by the way. 8 minutes in the game. There's no killing this guy unless you're bringing in Queen of Pain or Enigma.
Yeah, and here comes our top lane.
Oh, first Black Hole. RTZ going to pop the Shapeshift. They haven't dealt with the healing ward here. Envy still keeping himself somewhat healthy with this, but they will have enough damage to bring him down. The Halb coming into play there, and an important kill for Team Secret there.
And Big Daddy No Tail picks up the bottom rune, the haste rune, and he's gonna scurry himself towards middle lane, but I don't think he can get the... Oh, he's actually gonna go for the kill.
The bottle charges are gonna come out here. S4 has his first bottle cancelled, but has some more charges, and Big Daddy No Tail just gonna be happy with zoning out S4 from the mid lane. As top lane, Secret do get a T1 tower.
Zai is just keeping them in the game and taking that top tower with RTZ, the rotation for them.
Yeah. I mean, Zai's played well. He did have it the easier... At this point, he had the easiest lane for any of the Secret heroes, to some extent.
Definitely.
Maybe S4 would have done okay mid if he didn't have his bottle snipe, but... Top lane, Envy's come back in. No Black Hole this time around, just a...
He has just killed Blade Fury, so...
Okay. Just the one value point so we can get out with the magic community if he needs to.
And here comes Bone 7 and Abaddon, coming to help their brother Eternal Envy out. Gonna force them to go back, force RTZ and Zai to just move back out of the lane.
C9 at 5 up here. RTZ has no shapeshift. This is problematic with phase boot. This is a kill. Yeah, they've got the Omni Slash, but they're going to hold on to it, I imagine. No, they'll just use it to secure the kill. And SF goes back mid to continue his laning dominance over the S4 Queen of Pain. Second game in a row, we're just seeing S4 get crushed mid. SF with almost double the net worth.
At this point, I think going for the Orchids would be like a really tall task for him. Maybe changing the item selection that he wants to go for. Going for Axe Scepter, easier to get, the easier build up, and gives you raw HP to survive a call from the Axe. And I'm not sure though, at this point it feels like the Orchid is not a very good option for S4. Here comes Misery! Oh no, he almost got another stun onto S4, and that would have been a kill. Again, very, very close, but Misery really being such a pain towards S4 in the middle lane. Can't catch a break.
Oh, Secret are trying to sneak a Roshan here. They make it past Big Daddy No Tail. No. He was in position to scout out the smoke. He obviously doesn't know. I mean, at this point, it's about time Secret catch a break.
This is a huge bold move by Secret, but it seems like it's going to pay off.
If No Tail had scouted that off, at some point you're just like, how lucky can Cloud9 get this game? They've just had so much go their way. Finally, Secret gets something. It's going to be an Aegis in their hands. We saw this last game, though. Arteezy snuck a Roshan, but ultimately was not something which really helped them out too much.
Showing Jackie Mao. You want to be good at sneaking Roshan? I can do it as well.
Well, it's one of the, I guess, comeback mechanics we're seeing some of these teams resort to, especially when they're really far behind. This kind of Secret here are in the early game. The Fata Shadow Fiend just dominating the net worth right now, and he's going to have a mech up. He's completed it back at base, needs to bring it out on the courier, and Team Cloud9 looking good here in Game 2. This game could see Secret knocked out of the tournament. They went undefeated in the group stage. They were 17-0 at one point, and they could be finishing...
Remember what happened to LGD as well when they went undefeated? The same story.
You lose one series and then suddenly things fall apart. This, though, would not be a top 3 finish for Secret. This loss here would put them tied 5th place with Team Rave. It's still a respectable result for a team at their first LAN event, but based on the hype around this team, based on how they welded in the group stage, this is a team most people are expecting to get top 2, top 3.
Yeah, Secret gonna lose their tier 1 tower in middle lane. Zai's gonna move in towards the middle lane to help defend, and here comes the shapeshift from RTZ.
Well, we'll see them look to loop around here. Enigma the Black Hole, they'll look to use the shapeshift with this Black Hole, but they back off. They thought Cloud9 were going to get greedy. I feel like RTZ's there like, I know this team. They're going to go for this tower. They're going to try and just get a bit too much out of this, but they didn't go for the tower. No opening for a Black Hole. The shapeshift is wasted, and well, not much Secret can do. They can fall back, farm the Ancients, and
It's still a fairly even game after Secret took the Roshan and the tier 1 at top. Man, the Enigma just kept them in the game so far. Big Daddy knows they're gonna have his level 6 and Envy rotating bottom with his teleport scroll. They want to take the tier 1 bottom. It's very low. And looking at Secret's position, can they actually get a trade off from here?
Radiant's bottom tower is
Middle
under
lane tower seems like has too
Omni
much.
Slash comes through, takes out a Familiar, and Kuro gonna go down as well to the rotation from Shadow Fiend.
He's gonna lose another familiar. This is dead as well, and he can't resummon.
That is
Dire's middle tower
expensive.
is under attack.
That is indeed very expensive. They're gonna defend mid as well.
Oh wow, the glyph comes out. Everyone's going to scatter here. Bone 7 are going to be leading the charge here. Black Hole is available for Zai. Is he going to go for it? One hero could be caught in it, but Bone 7 brought down by the Sonic Wave, goes through, catches out 3. Great placement from S4. Just getting those other heroes in the backlines down low, kind of deterring them from chasing.
He didn't pop his mech though. Would have at least forced S4 to stick around and do more damage to kill Bone 7, but it was... I think he just didn't expect the wave to blow him out so quickly. Wanted to bait the co-op to actually stick around longer, but in the end, causing Bone 7 to die without the mech being popped, I think it was... Well, giving away something at this stage is not really good for C9. It's still a fairly even game, even though they had a very good laning phase.
It does feel that way. Fato going to run into the Queen of Pain here as Puppey actually the one in trouble. He's going to Grave TP out. Nothing to cancel this as the TP from the Vengeful Spirit wasn't in time for a swap. Envy now with a completed Mask of Madness can power jungle. He can easily keep up in farm with some of the other heroes in this game. And Bone 7 needs to get that Blink Dagger up. I feel like that's the next big item for Cloud9. Because so far, going for the Vanguard has kind of taken away that initiation tool of his. Envy not going to use the Omni Slash as here comes Zai. He's got a Black Hole available. He wants his kill. Mech going to come out as well. The Malefice is there. Black Hole available. Maybe worth it for this kill. There's no TP scroll, and Envy going to go down to the right clicks. This is a big kill for Secret to be picking up. That is something Envy's going to be regretting here. He played so well in Game 1. He's played perfectly in Game 2 so far, but first mistake we see come out of Jackie Mao.
Yeah, trying so hard to get the extra kill.
Radiant's
Probably
top
feeling the
tower
hit that
is
they
under
weren't
attack.
in as good of a position as the first game. He wanted to get something out of it and just overextended, paid for the price. And looking at the axe now, he almost has his blink. So this would be the crucial timing for C9 to actually try to find some kills with the axe here after going for the much more economical build by getting a Vanguard. And the death at middle lane when the Shadow Fiend didn't mech him also hurt them a lot. So he's gonna get his blink finally at 15 minutes. It's not a very good timing considering he had such a good start even with the Vanguard. But let's see what he can do from here.
Yeah, for now it feels like Secret are managing to catch up as far as their economy is concerned, and Zai is very, very farmed. He's got a Vitality booster on top of the mech and tread, sitting on 1200 HP, and that's with Intel tread, so he's just looking to help his team by taking up. Is this just a casual Vitality booster? Do you think he's going Atos?
I think it might be casual or Atos. He could still look to go for the Blink Dagger this game to make sure that he gets good black holes, but I wouldn't be surprised even if he goes for the Atos. Like, the Blink is not 100% better than the Atos here. Both could work depending on how he wants to play the situation out.
Middle tier 1 tower. Bone 7 going to go for a smoke, but
no,
it's his
Misery.
teammate in trouble. He TP'd in. The second TPs can come to the tier 2 tower. That'll be a reasonably fast one. Misery dead already, and the Axe Blink Dagger not here just yet. Fata going to TP himself in.
Black holes?
Oh, possibly wants Zai. Going to turn around, go for the TP out. Omni Slash is going to cancel it though. Zai going to go down, and that mech Vitality booster not saving him there. The tower does get destroyed by an Enigma Eidolon.
Well, that was unfortunate that they actually still got the last hit of the tower there.
Enigma had like a single Eidolon there, which just somehow snuck in.
Yeah,
And
I actually thought for a moment they would actually turn and fight. Co-op had ultimate, level 2 ultimate there, so they could have actually turn and black hole and try to take things like take a kill or two, but in the end they felt it was too risky. They didn't want to do it. Tried to TP the Enigma out, but was unfortunate. At least they salvaged the situation. They still got the tower.
just giving up the one kill and getting the tower. Also some good pressure and farm. Arteezy was top lane while that was going on, pressuring the tier 2. He's up to 6.5k net worth.
So it's gonna be the Atos for Zai here.
Okay.
He picked up a Staff of Wizardry, so Atos, looking at the potential of the item, definitely works well with the familiars. You can Atos from a far range, the familiars can go in to do damage, and not to mention the wolves as well. Could be an item that actually gives the team the utility initiation they need, because they don't have much disables in terms of getting an easy initiation apart from the stun, so Atos could be the item that provides them the initiation they need from far range.
Well, game 2, dead even as far as the farm goes. So Secret have stabilized things here. We'll see how things pan out. It is Cloud9 on the dire side. Sure, Secret managed to sink the last Roche. I imagine that's not something C9 will allow to happen again, unless Secret get complete map control and dominance in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But that last Aegis did expire, didn't get used for too much, but... Oh, well, I'd say it got used to just kind of bring this game back to even in some ways.
Yeah, and the Wolves scouted out Bone 7 going to top, trying to set up a kill, but RTC knows that, gonna back off. And so far, the Blink still hasn't gotten anything done for his team on Bone 7. Needs to find some pickups here.
Oh.
Bottom lane, Kuroki gonna get surrounded by the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And the Shadow
He
Fiend.
can grave chill and look to run at this point. Familiar stun 1 and 2. He may get out of this one, but here comes your big day no
I
to
don't
Abaddon, but
think they can get the kill.
No,
yeah,
doesn't look like
it's-
it.
They're
He's
gonna
gonna
try to
resummon.
kill. Yeah, he's gonna resummon. They're gonna at least force him to resummon his familiars, which is a long cooldown, 180 seconds at the very least.
it is, but I feel like all in all, Kuro played that well. You don't want to give away that easy gold worth the I mean, you're gonna have to resummon him anyway. So.
Yeah. But looking at the game at this point for Secret, they're gonna be able to finish Orchid on the S4 Corp fairly soon in the next few minutes. He actually caught up very well after the start he had. Did not expect him to get this at such a good timing. It was still a very good timing considering the start that he had.
Yeah, he was getting dominated by the Shadow Fiend. Fata did kind of rotate a bit into the jungle and was playing fairly defensive at certain points of the game, but right now C9 looking to make a move on mid lane.
mid lane.
Enigma going to get swapped back in. No tower available, but here come the rest of Secret. Looking to back up Grave, not in range, and Puppey thinking he could maybe get in there for that. Bone 7 has a blink in 3 seconds time, but
I mean, it's pointless to try and grave
yeah,
though. It's the axe.
it's the axe. That's right.
There's no point for him trying to go in with the grave.
Oh, S4 almost caught by the blink call of Bone 7. He's practically got enough money for the Orchid now, so we'll see that coming out. And kind of theory crafted the Orchid not being as potent in this game, but it's a good timing at least, but it doesn't feel like there's a big hero to use it on.
I'm not sure though, because there's Abaddon. It doesn't feel like the Orchid would be actually helping the Quap do a lot in the game. I mean, you can use it on Abaddon at the very least to stop him from saving a teammate or so. And here comes the Invis Shadow Fiend, tries to get the Requiem off. Oh my god, he's gonna get it.
Wow, S4 gets the blink out just in time. 40 HP, healed up by the Dazzle, and
Wow, that was just as close as you could get.
yeah, if he walked on top of Fata, that would have been an insta-kill, I believe. I don't think he got the full damage from that Requiem.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it was still a very good effort from Fata trying to
Yeah.
get that solo pick off with the Invis rune. They got a ward on the ancient area by Big Daddy. Placed the ward there, making sure that Secret can't really use the ancients as effectively until they deward it. But here comes the Orchid on S4, so let's see what he's gonna be able to.
Can they get into the Roshan pit to contest it? They have smoked up. They're making their move down there. Lycan is at top lane right now, and Roshan just drops too damn fast.
Here we go.
They still want to fight. Fata, he's the one with the Aegis. Don't want to overcommit to this one. Midnight Pulse is there. And it looks like C9 going to be at least forced back to some extent here. Not wanting to go up onto the high ground when they are somewhat lacking in vision.
You know, the only thing I can actually figure out of at the moment the Orchid could do, the biggest thing he could do is like get a solo pick off on Envy, since he still doesn't have the Manta. He's not far away from that. He has the Yasha and 1.8k gold, but there's going to be a window of timing where, because Envy is a player that he likes to be as efficient as possible, so the Quad might be able to actually, if you find him, you catch him alone with the Orchid, so it could actually get him 1 or 2 good pickoffs. And here comes Bone 7, a call on Puppey, it's going to go down here.
Yeah. Nice observer ward by the Ancients. Puppey going to grave, but that ain't going to help him. Axe gets the chop, and TC in kind of no man's land here, but at the same time, this positioning's working well for him because he's not been scouted out. He's farming in the enemy jungle. This is some kind of hyper-aggressive farming that's just not getting punished right now.
He just needs to give space to his team to farm, though. He just wants to do that.
They're searching for him over by the secret shop. Cloud9.
Skadi is completed.
Okay. That's a lot of farm on your Fata Shadow Fiend.
As for trying to look for the career, they're not going to be successful.
Yeah. Well,
this is, if you're a Secret fan right now, you're going to be very worried about the current situation for Secret. They need to be able to get a good fight with a Black Hole to be able to turn things around at this point of the game. The Orchid so far not doing anything yet for S4, but we shall see whether in the fights he's able to actually silence the Abaddon, preventing him from saving a teammate.
oh, you talked about the solo kill potential. Envy at mid lane, gonna get Sonic Wave. The mech coming in from Fata though. Barely survives.
That was so risky, but he managed to survive just by the skin of his sleeve there.
Ooh. That mech kept him alive on like 50 HP, and then in came the miscoil.
That's one of the moments you just give your teammate a high five. Thank you, bro.
All right, Bone 7 at top lane. He's gone in kind of alone here, but here comes Puppey with backup, and Bone 7's overextended. He was doing
They
Bone
even
7 things.
Got a deny on the tower. Why did he actually jump in? He was alone.
Yeah.
There was no backup, and I'm not sure if he actually could have even gotten the kill there.
Well, we'll
Maybe
see
he just wanted to try and get the tower, secure
Envy
the
at
tower.
bottom. He's going in with a wraparound here. Hiding at the secret shop. He's been pinged out though. He's been spotted. Secret Code's going to look to TP and evacuate. Abandon ship, says Puppey. And they'll get out scot-free. No casualties in the bottom lane as both Puppey and Kuro TP home.
So the Manta star will be completed by Eternal Enemy. So that alone would remove any killing potential the Quap has on him at this point, unless it's on cooldown. So I'm not sure what the Orchid's going to achieve. So right now, since he can't really kill the Jug anymore, the Venge will probably be walking with his team most of the time unless you catch him out alone. So the Orchid probably wouldn't do so much here, but let's see what will S4 go for his next item. Probably wants to go for a defensive item next to BKB, but at the same time against X, I'm not so sure if it's actually worth it. But we shall see what he decides to. And looking at Zai, he has 2k gold right now. Whether if he goes for the dagger at this point, it's quite uncertain as well.
I want to see some like Ags refresher type play here.
He might even want to consider getting a Lincoln, so to be honest.
Against the swap.
Yeah. And you can even give the Lincolns like maybe to at the clutch timing to prevent the Culling Blade from X on your teammate.
If you Lincolns the Culling Blade, does the Culling Blade go on cooldown?
I do not know. I think
Okay.
so because it counts as it didn't kill a target, so it should go on cooldown.
Alright.
But here we go, Envy, Mask of Madness.
He's got his famous bottled up
He
DE rune
he
as
bought
well.
the blink. He just bought the blink just to get out.
Is he? Oh, I guess he's used it now, so he can't sell it. But hey, it's an item he probably wants nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still an item you want, more or less. And here comes the gank. Can they actually get this kill with Envy? I'm not so sure.
TZ going to immediately shapeshift and needs to stay with his crew, but needs some mana burn. Envy can't go for the Omni Slash. Too much mana burn. Nah, TZ just needs to run. Envy has got the Aegis.
And here comes the Quap. Can he actually catch up?
Oh no, he hasn't got the Aegis. He's only got 100 HP. He's actually dying to the wolves here. Envy may go down. He's trying to bottle up in between right clicks. The Necrobook could finish him off. Queen of Pain, blink in, Sonic Wave. Oh, it hits him. S4 gets the kill, goes down in the meantime, but that feels like it's worth it at this stage of the game.
Oh my god. Did he actually get a streak?
Barely killed him. It was a pretty even gold exchange, I guess. And it was a kill going to the Shadow Fiend.
He ran back into the Sonic Wave. If he actually went towards the bottom side, I think it wouldn't have hit him. Man.
Yeah. I thought Envy had the Aegis. Aegis was on the Shadow Fiend, and that was where I'm like, okay, Envy's just manning up. He's got no mana for an Omni Slash, but...
It was a Jackie Mao versus Arthur Barbev showdown there.
Yeah. Jackie Mao don't bring no Aegis to no fights.
Even man won't fight.
Yeah. He's going to fight his friend on even footing, at least today. Didn't show him much mercy in game 1, but here we are, game 2. Right now, it's TZ keeping up on farm with Envy, but Fata's Shadow Fiend once more, topping the net worth chart and having an amazing game.
Next item on the books for Shadow Fiend. Let's see. He bought something.
Something's on the courier, and it's a Talisman of Evasion.
Butterfly. Oh, they're gonna catch Fata out here.
Well,
blink, stun.
Necrobook's up in a couple of seconds. Fata's Invis rune not going to save him here, and without a BKB, Fata's just straight up dead. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a huge pickoff.
That is a high priority kill, and
They
Envy
need to get out. They need to get out. Enigma can blink and Atos someone.
Oh, Atos is coming soon. Their Bone 7 getting slowed. He's going to get silenced up as well. Shielded off though, that's the Aphonic shield power, but Bone 7 still in trouble. Zaya's looking for a blink black hole. He's chasing. He's got the black hole. Is he going to use it? Nope, doesn't do so immediately.
No, misery.
Second Atos comes out. It's a third kill. Secret just kind of snowballing from one kill to the second to the third.
That was just a very, very good play, outmaneuvering their opponents. And when they realized the Shadow Fiend is going to be down, C9 tried to scramble out of there, but they just got caught out by the Familiars and got caught out by the Rod of Atos there, paying off.
You can see the power of the Rod of Atos and just having the timing. The Necrobook came up exactly when they needed it to deal with that Invis rune that Fata picked up, and that was a big turning point, that sequence of events. That gives Secret, I don't know about, I feel like that gives them a bit of an edge here. They get a bit of more map control, and they're trying to just pressure some of these towers in the meantime.
Middle lane, Secret needs to be very careful now. Venge is already out, Shadow Fiend out as well. They need to make sure they don't give away whatever they actually worked for a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And looking at the Lycan, has he actually gotten something else?
He's working on an Assault Caress. Has got the chainmail picked up.
Isn't this the chainmail he got earlier that he didn't decide to make it a medallion because they couldn't get the Roche?
We'll see what his next item of choice is going to be. It feels like AC not bad against Shadow Fiend, against Omni Slash.
AC would definitely be a very good
Just-
choice here.
It feels like the armor will help him a lot. You've also got the counter helix.
BKB next after the armor item, I guess.
Okay.
Against the Shadow Fiend, but I'm not entirely sure even if the BKB would be the most optimal choice since a lot of physical damage in the end of the day coming out from C9.
Yeah. Going like an AC into an Abyssal Blade, even a Heart of
Yeah,
Tarrasque if you want
Heart
to
wouldn't even
HB.
be a bad choice here in my opinion. But we'll see. Double damage rune picked up by Big Daddy Notia here. Bone 7, any item progression. He's gonna get a Shiva's Guard recipe here. So gonna work on that as his next item progression. Looking at the supports of C9, do they actually have Ghost Scepters to actually protect themselves? Misery doesn't have a Ghost Scepter, only a Medallion so far.
Their support's much poorer than Secret. You look at Kuro, he has transitioned very nicely into a pretty farm Visage here with level 12 Aghanim Scepter, Gem. Well ahead of the C9 supports in terms of farm.
Yeah, Secret just clawed themselves back into the game after the last few because have the map control with the gem on the support. Visage, here we go.
Really nice offensive ward gets
Wards,
planted by
all the wards
Puppy.
being, yeah, that's very good vision. They can actually try to fight
There's
here.
a gem though. They de-warded immediately, unfortunately.
They just got a gem on No-Tail, or he has it before. I'm not sure.
I like the ward spot just because it's less common and normally you see it on the cliff, which is easily de-warded, but
Yeah,
the gem
the sentry.
easily counters it. So
But so far, I still haven't seen like the axe do too much apart from one kill. Not sure. It didn't feel like the blink from the axe accomplished too much yet in the game.
well, right now C9 playing very blind themselves. This Necro 3 and just general map controller secrets have kind of allowed them to just kind of put C9 in the dark as far as their vision's concerned.
Yeah,
but
it's just starting to show that the C9 supports very good in the laning phase, but not very good at farming in the jungle.
yeah. Well, they've got one ward around Roshan. They feel like they can take Roshan once more. Their lineup just kills Roshan too damn quickly. If they see one hero in the top lane or something, easy Aegis. And this time it's not just Aegis, it's Cheese as well.
Roshan has fallen
It feels like Secret have no way of preventing this. Not to say that it's a bad, I mean, it obviously is a bad thing, but it's not going to necessarily cause them to lose a game. They can still fight into Aegis
Yeah,
and
as long
Cheese.
as they make sure every time C9 is trying to do rush, they get something done.
Yeah.
Be it tower damage or map control, getting wards down, doing ancient stack. Just make sure that they spread their heroes across the map and get as much as possible. And top lane, we see Secret here still staying by the jungle, maybe looking to see if they can actually get some sort of initiation. Here comes Bone 7, he's gonna run up, try to find someone, but gonna get slowed by the Atos and just couldn't get anything done
Yeah.
again.
Nice Atos. Puppy could have been in trouble there
Yeah,
with
this
the blink.
Atos was a really good pickup here by Zai. Got so much done. The initiation range from the Atos just so good in this game. Provided with them is so much utility.
So C9 appear to be at least looking to group up a bit at the top lane, but if they ever try to group up too much and push, they're going to be met by counter push in the other lane. Queen of Pain as well as Lycan, both pretty good counter pushes. The Lycan especially just going to really threaten these other lanes with the Assault Crest and Necro 3 now completed.
Yeah, and S4 has the goal for Hex already, so he's gonna have the silence to most likely be used on the Abaddon. That will be all the bench, but I guess the primary target will be the Abaddon and get the Sight of Ice on another target.
And that's going to also help deal with the Shadow Fiend's newly purchased Butterfly, so you can take out that evasion for a period of time while he's hexed up. And
Yeah, I think you just want to get the Orchid on the Abaddon every fight.
you've got to be careful. Bone 7 nearby, ready with a blink call, but he does kind of show himself to the creep wave. What has Bone Chan got in mind here?
I don't think they feel Secret wants to fight right now with the Aegis and Cheese. Here we go, jump. Oh no,
Jump in the
Zai.
mid lane with the Omni Slash. Zai cannot afford to die. The Grave is there, but the Culling Blade chops him up. He's going to immediately buy back. The counter push coming up bottom
They
lane.
need to back
Secret.
off. They need to back off. Lycan is going to base here.
Lycan is pushing much faster than Cloud9. Now Cloud9 have to wait for the next creep wave, and There goes your TPs. First one is the Vengeful Spirit. Arteezy's already backed off a bit here, and Fata can actually TP top, feeling confident that the threat at bottom has been negated.
They almost got into a very bad position there. If
the Necro 3 was on cooldown for Arteezy when they went to the high ground.
Oh my god. If he had the Necro, the tower probably... Yeah, I think the tower's gone.
Yeah. Well, you can see the threat that this Lycan poses whenever Cloud9 try to group up and go for a push. Secret also, Zai, getting a bit caught out there, probably unnecessarily.
Yeah, but at the very least, he had buyback, was able to force C9 back, and they got a very good trade-off on the tier 3 at bottom. Looking at the tower damage done, it was so much like 1000 tower damage done at bottom, so I think if you're Secret, you're going to be looking for the same situation to happen sometime soon and just get the Lycan into the bottom lane once more and you'll be able to take the bottom racks.
The other thing is, it wasn't just the damage trade, it was the time, because Aegis lasting for another 2 minutes. They did have to use the Enigma buyback, but they're trying to stall. They want to take the fight when this Aegis is about to wear off. Unfortunately, C9 have at least one push in them right now. No counter push happening at top or bottom lane. No buyback on your Enigma.
Here's where you wish you had an XF on Corp.
You've got to fight this one. You've got to fight into the Aegis and Cheese, and you can't go for a counter push in the side lanes.
Well, they need to take this fight very well with the silence abandon, and hack someone else. That's like the best way to start.
Who's your ideal target on the C9 side?
They have Aegis on Pheta, but it's... Try to kill Bone 7 though, since he's the primary initiator, but you must be able to wait for him to jump in and click the hex from far distance and get the hex instantly. Oh, here goes the silence!
Insta silence comes out. He does get it shielded off, but it prevented the call. I mean, that's a good silence.
That could have been big. That could have been big.
Even with the shield onto the Orchid, just having the initiation prevented. Very nicely done. MB still chipping at the T3 tower. They're just trying to delay this Aegis, which is going to be expiring in the next minute or so. Fata on the front lines.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, the blink call onto S4. S4 still alive for the time being. Grave keeping him healthy. He gets the blink out. Omni Slash now coming through and looking for that black hole. Zai's got a blink dagger still available. The Hex now comes out onto your Juggernaut. Bone 7 misses the call. Buyback from Puppey. Bone 7. He's been isolated now. Fata's got this Aegis skill.
They need to get out.
They do need to get out. Black hole on just one. Immediately cancelled by Misery. Zai could not find the black hole he was looking for. The Grave is there, but the Culling Blade from Bone 7, it's going to go off. The Malefice isn't enough. Cloud9 have only lost Envy so far, and Secret have lost 2, make it 3, and this is with buybacks. This is looking really bad for the Radiant team. Secret have no answers. This Aegis about to heal up your Shadow Fiend as well, and they may just look to continue this push.
Oh my god.
Aegis gets reclaimed, and that's Fata back to full HP.
Back off right now. I feel they can actually do more damage to the tower.
There's no black hole, only visits with a buyback.
The courier, what's the courier doing outside?
Oh, it's gonna back off. I was looking for the gem. It wants that gem. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, they can still do tower damage.
Oh,
here we go.
That's a blink after he got silenced.
Oh my god.
7.
What?
Whoa.
No.
Swap back onto Arteezy though. They're gonna bring down the Lycan in exchange for the Vengeful Spirit. Lycan does have buyback and may be forced to use it if they want to try and defend this mid lane.
Oh, they need to back off right now. Back off right now.
Damage has been done. S4 blinks forward, has the Orchid still available. He's taking big right clicks, and S4 could just be dead. The raise from Fata. His Shadow Fiend play has been more than impressive this game. He is single-handedly just carrying C9 right now. Well, single-handedly perhaps a bit of an exaggeration, but he's going to just keep on staying on the higher ground. Envy even going to come back into the fight here. S4 going to buy back as well, and C9 have to make a decision here. Do they fight? Do they run? Fata's been left alone in the base. Will pay the price.
Man, he got too cocky though. That kill gave so much go and experience to Secret.
You know, Secret, end of the day, still have Rack standing and get a big, important kill on the Shadow Fiend.
That was very unnecessary by the Shadow Fiend though. Well, I guess they are still in a good position after Secret using 3 buybacks. I think Lycan, Quap, and Dazzle. Yeah, Lycan, Quap, and Dazzle use buybacks in that fight.
Yep, that really hurt the Secret economy. You can see a big drop in the net worth trade. But
I still felt they got something on. They shouldn't have gotten anything out of that. The Shadow Fiend could have just backed off, and the death was needless to say something bad for them. But at least they got the buybacks out. And looking at item progression, Enigma still not going to be able to have any progression after the buyback. Quap, after the hex and buyback, nothing much coming up for him. Visage got a Ghost Scepter. Lycan didn't get anything new as well.
All 3 cores, it feels like, just with buybacks, can't really get those next big items up, which they need ASAP. They probably will get a bit of breathing room. For Cloud9, they'll want to wait for the next Roshan, so Secret at least can maybe have another big item by then, and, well, they could also maybe try to take a favorable fight. They're smoked up, looking to find a pick-off here, and...
They might want to actually try to get a MKB on Lycan as soon as possible against the Butterfly.
Well, right now, the smoke going to make their way down river here.
Black Hole is going to come off cooldown in 5 seconds.
And that last fight, that black hole just didn't cut it. They're going to ping out Envy.
Oh, no, Envy.
Did they see him? There's a Hex
Where's
available
the
as well as the Orchid. Venge is not there, not in range for the swap, and Envy going to be burst down.
Oh dear.
Big pick off there.
Oh dear. This
Secret.
This is not looking good for them after such a good fight.
I feel like Cloud9 can still wait out the next Roshan. So far they've proven to be a team that...
Man, they need to be very careful. They've been giving so many pickoffs away to Secret after getting a commanding lead from the laning phase.
Okay. Envy does have buyback, but obviously not really looking to use it at this point. If they're just going to lose something like a tier 2 tower mid, probably not something he'll buy back for. TZ's not even coming to this. He's looking to keep his farm up and just farm Ancients right now.
And I talked about getting the Orchid on the Abaddon from the quad, but I don't think it will be possible because No-Tail can stay so far with the Blink and just make sure that he comes in to save his team. So I probably see just the main usage of the Orchid is to just silence the Axe when he blinks in and tries to get a call off.
Alright, well, Zai gonna get scouted out. Dire Observer Ward on the high ground here. It's a blink forward. Bone 7, please.
Bone 7.
Oh my.
Again, he gets caught out.
This
is looking...
You know, he hasn't
like
played...
a comeback for Secret.
He hasn't played that much Axis Tournament. Has not been one of his go-to heroes, and it's a great pick to have against the Visage Familiars, against the Lycan, the Blink Call against the Quap, but Secret have caught him out multiple times, have countered his Blink initiations with these fast Orchids from S4, and suddenly high ground being threatened. There's no buyback on your Axe, and with Zai sitting back ready with a Black Hole, there's going to be some significant damage done to this tier 3 tower, it feels like.
Well, Shadowfiend can still stand in front like a man to defend the tower, so I don't think they can deal too much damage.
Well, this is where Secret, if they can get an Aegis, they Roshan respawning now.
Oh no, it's going to respawn now. Bone 7 is still 40 seconds down the death timer.
Can you contest this without your Axe?
It's hard though against the Enigma. They need to make sure that they get the swap on the Black Hole.
Dire lose that courier. They scouted out. Misery now possibly isolated as well. That takes the swap out of the picture. If they can kill off Misery, that's huge. Oh, Misery gonna get shielded up. The Sonic Wave coming through. S4 willing to overcommit to this one, potentially. Misery's still alive. Meanwhile, in the Radiant Jungle, Envy's used his Omni Slash already. He may just get caught out. Puppey gonna grave himself up, and without a Culling Blade, Puppey's still alive for the time being. Fata gonna look to bring him down. Vision has brought down your Jugs, though. Envy is dead. If they want to stop this Roshan happening, they've got to use that buyback. That they will. That comes your Juggernaut, and Secret have got to decide. Do they commit to this Roshan, or do they back off? Black Hole still available, and it looks like Secret gonna look to reposition themselves.
They have to. I don't think they can actually contest the Rosh anymore. It's 4v5. It's probably safer not to just go because they are not in a good position themselves with the mid lane exposed. If they take a fight right now, they lose a fight. Rex is probably gone.
They lost their vision on the high ground too with the blink from the Abaddon onto the cliff.
Bone
so.
7 takes the Aegis.
I mean, Fata seems somewhat unkillable, but I feel like Envy would be your kind of ideal Aegis carrier.
I think they didn't actually wanted Bone 7 to get it because look at the Juggernaut. He actually dropped a slot just to make sure he could pick up something.
And Envy also...
Oh dear, I think it wasn't intentional that the...
Envy has no buyback as well. I feel like there is no reason you would not want to give it to your Jug.
Give it to the Jug? I think it was just... oh my god, Bone 7, please. Bone 7.
S4 doing what he can to keep the pressure up on this top lane. You mentioned an Ag Scepter earlier. If he wants to buy something like that, he is up to 3.5k gold.
He could still go for the Axe. I think the Axe in this point of the game could be something that he wants to have in base defense. You can buy time with the Axe, Ultimate, and the Lycan. He could just be somewhere else, split pushing and forcing C9 to move and stop the push. So could be an item that he looks to go for next. Or his other option would probably be Shiva's God.
March down the middle lane. C9 looking for a pick off. Arteezy's going to be careful. He has got money for buyback. 5.2k gold. He's staying out of range.
This has to work for C9. They already used so much of their resources in
no buyback for 40 seconds on your Lycan, actually. And this mid-rack's exposed. They need a delay. They want to have that buyback first. Boots of Travel's bought. He may just go for the trade here. He's keeping in the bottom lane. They're going for a base trade. Zai going to survive the Omni Slash for now. It switches over to Kuro, who goes Scepters up. Secret are pushing top. They're also pushing bottom. What's the move here? Does C9 go
Oh,
for throw? They've got to
no.
back off. They're not even going for the racks right now. Where are the TPs? Fata does not have a TP. Envy
no.
also, I don't think, has a TP. No one has TPs.
The
Visage
throne.
Familiar's getting the stuns. They're going
Throne.
for the throne. Oh no! It's a catastrophe for Cloud9. Here comes S4 as well. They're just running back. They're running for dear life. They've got to protect the base. Arteezy now pops the ultimate. There's no clip available. He dies in the fountain, but he's got ages. He can't even buy back and TP home. They're just going to get the throne off of this. Holy shit, Cloud9 have lost game 2. I can't believe it. What just happened? The biggest late game faux pas Cloud9 have shown this tournament, and that's with some terrible late game performances in previous matches where they lost a 30k gold lead. This, to me, takes the cake.
This is even worse than the game that they lost
Against Big God?
with the Lycan pick against the Medusa. This is even a bigger. I wouldn't say they were in a very commanding position that they actually threw the game very hard.
It's the way they lost,
It was
though.
just the way they lost. It was very not disciplined. They just played so cocky. You could tell from the middle fight, Feta was like, even though they were not able to kill him, but he was just like standing up front. The way he played the situation was they were very cocky, and I just felt that sometimes you just need to back off after forcing buybacks, and
Yeah.
after that fight, they gave away so much gold and experience towards the Seeker side. They immediately smoked after defending their base. They got another pick off on Bone 7. Another kill on... They got 2 kills, can't remember on who. They took a tower. They almost won the Roshan fight, even though in the end, Juggernaut bought out and still secured C9 the Rosh, but the Boots of Travel on Lycan not having any TPs.
And just the axe, like he's the one who took the Aegis. Like that was a
really-
catastrophe.
that
He
was-
also, at the end, he's like, he went to suicide to Fountain to
they-
buy back, and he went to buy back.
They definitely
and-
didn't meant to give the Aegis to the Axe, because Envy was probably like...
Man, emotions have got to be running high for C9. At the same time, this is an emotional team, but as long as they're still in the tournament, they know they still have a
it's
chance in game 3.
Emotional game, you know.
I mean, for both teams.
Jakima versus Arthur Barbev and Notail against his former teammates.
Well, they've come a long way since the group stage where it was the Techies pick that defeated Cloud9. So I got to say, Cloud9 showing they can take it to Team Secret.
And that banter before the game started.
Yeah, man, Envy, he's going to show some respect to his elders here. Puppy's been around the Dota scene a long time, and got to say, Puppy, I don't think he took too kindly to those words.
No, I think man.
Imagine how good Puppy feels right now. Especially with how bad that game started.
Yeah, definitely. The game started so off. I mean, just Bone 7. He just gave up way too much after being caught out so many times, and he had such a good start with the Abaddon helping him in the lane. They wrecked the lane 2 versus 3. He got such a quick vanguard to make sure he would not die to 3 heroes, but in the end of the day, he did not repay his support for giving him that good start. He definitely did not repay his supports.
All right, well, that does it for game 2. I'm GoDz and he's WinteR. We're going to go back to the panel and see what they have to say before we go to game 3.
Well, the 8-0 dream is dead, gentlemen.
If he doesn't type 8-1 in the next game, I'm going to be super disappointed in him.
What happened? Looked like they had the early game.
That face. Now it gets serious.
So, do you need to put the headset on to do this? Like, this move doesn't work without the headset? Also, you've lost your mic. Come on.
Okay, here we go.
There you
That's pretty good. I mean, there isn't really that much to analyze on in that game, because actually it's a really exciting and very even game, and then they get caught in one end of the map without any TPs on 5 heroes against a lineup that's
Against
pushing.
Lycan, Visage, Necrobook.
Like, that's literally the game right there.
This has been a problem for Cloud9 this tournament. You go back to the Big God best of 3 where they like... okay, this game they did not have them by the jugular, but they at least were in the game. It was still a competitive game. The BG game, they like had them game 1 and consistently just get outmaneuvered and outplayed in a really tight situation. Same things happens here.
Can you guys remind me the last few losses that Cloud9 have had in this tournament that were, quote-unquote, I guess ridiculous to some extent? How have they come back? Because my memory is horrible. Because we talked about how are they going to come back mentally, right? And you can ask that for this game.
Well, I mean, I can tell you how they came back in the BG series. They didn't. So
That's one.
yeah.
There was another one, though.
But they still didn't like fully choke after that. They still played an okay game 2 against Big One.
They did decently in game 2.
And it's really weird to watch a game like this because Cloud9 are actually playing extremely well today. Like they completely ran over HTT. They also destroyed eHome in the best of one. They come into this, they completely overrun Secret in game number 1. This game is looking good for them too. I think this one was a toss-up for me. I thought it was like about 50-50 toward the end, which, considering Secret favorites, is still a good accomplishment for Cloud9 in that game. But based on game 1, you would expect it, right? But
they like the dramatic
that way to
finishes.
lose a game. It's just, this is one. If they end up losing the next game, this one is going to come back to haunt them, and it's going to be extremely unfortunate and hopefully never happen again. But we've seen this happen to teams before, that you lose games on not having TP. I guess to an extent, the TI3 finals between Na'Vi and Alliance, Na'Vi got caught in a position where they had to try to go for it. They didn't have TPs to come back. I do believe, right? They had 2 heroes without TPs.
Yeah, there was a point in that game where they didn't. Dendy actually, I spoke to him after the game. I think it was like 2 days later. We went out for dinner, and he said, I didn't want to go. I said, wait for the TP. Let's not go. But the team was, it was very emotional. It was game 5 of TI3 Grand Finals. And sometimes you just go with your team's gut. The team made a call to go, so he goes. Then they end up losing the fight.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously you can't really point at one player and say this is a one-person decision, but Lord knows it's hard not to tilt after losing a game like that.
The thing about this game, though, is, I mean, it's one thing if you have 1 or 2 players that don't have a TP. But I think, was it you, Brian, who pointed out they had like
run, by the way.
Okay, they had like 4 TPs in the Roche pit. I think after they killed Roche, or at least there were a couple of TPs lying there. No one had a TP, and they go push the base. If no one has a TP, that's an all-in call, right? But they hesitated in the base.
They didn't actually go straight for the throne.
I mean, if that's the call, then that's what you do. But they hesitated, and then they had nothing. So, but I also wouldn't believe that to be the call. Like, okay, we're gonna gamble everything on this push when we're actually leading the game.
Like in Necro 3, we're leading. We just took Roche.
It's just a blunder. There's nothing more to say. And you can lose a game on a blunder from one person. You can also lose a game on a blunder from 5 people at once. So,
well, with that said,
unfortunate.
Game 2 was heated. It was emotional. It's going to come down to a deciding Game 3, which we are going to see directly after this. We're having a quick break, guys, and when we return, it'll be our final match of the day. The Dota 2 Asia Championships coverage brought to you by the Square Esports continue after this.